creators workshop. The mic you're saying. And thanks for making time to come over to learn content creation today. So I want to ask a question first. Who is content creator here? Okay, who is aspiring influencer here? Okay, so just let me introduce myself, a little bit of my background. Since day one, I'm from zero, and now I'm a bit more recognized. So I am Irene Guo. I have been a food blogger since 2014, which is like 10 over years ago. And over the years, I have been featured by multiple media such as CNA 938, Straits Times, South China Morning Post. Now I'm actually doing like social content coaching, helping small businesses to grow online. Some of my past work, if you search online top food bloggers in Singapore, I'm one of them, which is here at the circle. Okay, so this is how my food blog looks like, and some of the times I have to feast a lot, like really a lot. Okay, so yeah, I am on some of these social media: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Lemonade, and Xiaohongshu, even Telegram. Some of my analytics track record, as you can see, reaches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 digits. Okay, and yeah, these are different social media analytics. Okay, so let's gain from this workshop. I hear many of you wanting to learn different kind of things, and definitely there are some things that will apply for your future content creation. Okay, so if you haven't turned off your mobile sound, please turn off. Turn it to a silent mode. Okay, and there will be some activities going along the workshop, so please participate actively and stay open-minded to learn more. Okay? Yeah. Before we start this workshop, let's do a simple exercise. I want every one of you to observe the surrounding of this classroom and take a quick 30 to 60 seconds to have a quick scan around and choose one object that will be your subject. Okay, choose one, any of the thing. It can be the camera, it can be the whiteboard, it can be the glass door, okay? And describe it in your mind, this object, without revealing its name. Explore its texture, colors, why it exists, or what kind of emotions it evokes. Okay, yeah, if you have a pen and paper somewhere, you can write it down. If you have laptop, you can write it down in your laptop. Why observation and awareness is very important is because content creation often serves a way to express not only the subject or the process, but also your observation, your perspective, and the story behind it. Now, let's move forward to foundations of strategic content creation, clarity and identity and foundations. Okay, have you taken the 30 seconds to observe around first? Okay, if you haven't, you can still do it right now. Okay, so alright, so next. Every content we create, it has to come with a purpose. So before we create a social media account or social media content, we always have to ask, why am I creating this content? Do you ask yourself before you create? There should be a certain purpose why you actually create this content. So most of the time in businesses, it's always about building awareness or educating your audience, drive engagement that eventually leads to sales and leads. Yeah. Okay, so every piece of content should serve a specific purpose and objective. So knowing your audience is very important. Identify your target audience, demographics, interests, pain points, and aspiration. So you can also map your audience journey, such as when you are at the awareness stage, when are you at the consideration stage, and where are you at the decision action stage. Each of your content, when you create, you should exactly know which stage are they trying to make your customers do. I mean, if you are a business. Of course, if you are creating as a personal goals, then that's a different story. Okay, speak in your target audience language, tone, relate to their needs and pain point is very important. So coming to the next, this is a content pillar, and this is a marketing funnel. Has anyone seen this funnel before? Yes, raise up your hand. Oh, one only. Okay, two. Okay. Yeah, so basically, if you haven't seen this funnel before, right, it's also considered a customer journey map. It's just using different kind of chart. So when there is this funnel, there is always the awareness, which is the bigger part of the funnel, and down to consideration, down to purchase decision and retention and advocacy. So when we talk about business conversion, it's always about letting people know about your business first before they consider and make a decision whether to purchase or not, or what other actions to take, and retention and look back to awareness. So some of the marketers out there call it tofu, mofu, bofu. So tofu is to get the awareness. It can be done online, it can be done offline. So it's just a term and framework for it. Mofu is always getting the consideration and trust. So if, let's say if you see a content that doesn't have all these stages, it is not planned to the intention, then you might not hook people in to buy your product, okay? So aligning format with goals is very important. So you know your target audience already, you know why you are creating your content for, and what's next. You got to choose your content format. And what are the content formats? We know there's different kind of social media, right, platforms, but do you know what are there? What is in the functions? What is in the interface? So basically, if you talk about online digital marketing, right, usually content formats are blog posts, reels, and shorts. Okay, basically reels and shorts are videos. It's just different platforms call it different name. So Instagram is reels, YouTube is shorts, okay, but they are both videos. And carousel is multiple image posting. Single posting can be just a graphics, okay? And there are stories is a status update that is usually disappear within 24 hours on Instagram especially, okay? Yeah. And there are infographics and visual guides, which is similar to graphics, and live stream that is on selective social media platform. There are also live streams on e-commerce platforms, but not all social media platforms have live streams. So strategy content creation is not about volume, it's about purposeful content aligned with your audience and goals that deliver consistency. I understand that some businesses, right, they think that they have to post every time to get awareness, but posting every time doesn't help you if you don't know the purpose of why you are posting. Yeah, okay? Next, identify your audience and define your content objective. We talk about purpose, we haven't talked about objective, right? But both are important. So now let's talk about why branding matters. Anyone? Do you know why is branding? Why branding matters? Okay.
It's what people talk about you without seeing you. It's what people talk about you without seeing you. Like Mercedes-Benz, if they see the tree, they know it is Mercedes-Benz. If they see this one, they know this is a symbol or something like that.
So do people see you in terms of like what kind of branding are you, or do they feel?
Yeah.
Do they see or feel? They feel actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to make them feel. That is the purpose of branding.
Yes, and that's experiential, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good. Thank you. Okay, branding matters. There are misconceptions whereby branding is very visual, but actually branding is not just the visual side of things. It's not the colors, it's not the logo, it's not just that. There are more to brandings. It's somehow the feelings you give your potential customers. And because you know your potential customers so well, you know their pain point, you know who are your target audience, you are able to make that or create that experience for them. Branding itself creates identity, builds deep emotion connections, drives trust and credibility, improves marketing effectiveness, and of course enable personal pricing and positioning. So if I ask you, if there's a can of a drink that doesn't have any brand and there's a code beside, which one will you choose? You will choose the code, right? Because it's familiar to you and because it has the brand positioning in the market already. And because the first can that doesn't have any anything on it, you don't know what is inside. You don't know what your experience will be. So you don't dare to risk, right? Yeah, so that's what brands does for you. Understand your brand is important. If you are not a business brand, it might be just personal branding and personal goals, okay? So knowing yourself, knowing your brand is important. And if you're unsure about your business or personal branding, right, you can begin by clarifying these key questions and things. For example, if it's a small business that you created, right, then it's about you because you created, you have a certain belief. So you can ask yourself like what you naturally excel in, what you do that you serve customers or sell to customers that lose track of your time. Or you can ask yourself what this particular product or services brings in terms of a deep value or transformation. And of course, the last is to make sure that this is what you see differently from your competitors. And why knowing all this is important? Because your content needs to reflect your brand, okay? Define your target audience. We talked about the basic of target audience just now. So now let's identify further, okay? Identify who you want to reach, start broad, then narrow down. So you know your target audience, you know your purpose, you know your objectives, you know your services and products you're selling. So what's next? You have to know slightly more about them, right? So not just at the demographics stage whereby there's a lot of people just know their age, gender, location, occupation, but they don't know the rest of their personas, okay? So you have to know about like how they surf online, how they search for things, so they can reach to your content when you are creating it, right? Okay, so demographics, psychographics, behaviors, needs and pain points are very important. The pain point part is especially important. If you can't solve or can't give tips or educational towards their pain points, nobody will see your content. I mean, of course, you can aim for everybody, but not your target audience, but it won't be as effective, okay? So mapping audience to your content objective is very important. So this is a real case study example of a yogurt brand in Singapore. This is what we have done for them. So basically, target audience for yogurt brand, maybe the first thing you think of target audience is people who are health conscious, right? And that group can be maybe from 20 years old to 55 years old. It's a very large group. And for each age group, they might think of different things. Maybe the younger crowd might think of, oh, I need to, exercise more, fitness and blah, blah, And the older group might be, oh, I need to make sure that I eat enough calcium to have my backbones my spine being straight, things like that, whatever, So different age group might have different pain point, and they are in different personas, and that's it, they have to have different marketing campaigns and different content that aims them, okay? So as you can see from here, persona 1 is expect mom who prioritize kids and family's health. So the ideal and pain point of this persona 1 is super different from persona 3, which is health conscious young Singaporean. And the content objective will be totally different because their pain point, their needs are different, okay? Key takeaway from the past few slides, the more specific you are about who you are talking to and what you want them to do next, the more effective your content will be. So here is frameworks for planning high impact content. Just now I hear some of you intro, you all say you created content, right? But it's not reaching out far, right? So this is the part whereby you need to know why certain content goes further, like more viewership, and why some just 10 people view, 100 people view, no more. Yeah, right? So there are a lot of frameworks that can help you to create high impact content. And today we are sharing this HVC framework. So HVC framework is hook, value, and call to action. So who knows what is call to action here? What's it? Do next, right? Yeah, okay, so call to action is the next step you want them to do. Okay, it's an action, just like the words, okay? So, call to action is usually at the back of the content. So, after they watch your video, you will know how you want them to move forward, and you have to, relate the message to make sure that you are giving the right instruction, so-called. But of course, it cannot be a command. It has to be something that you influence them to do. Okay. So hook. I think many people have heard before this. The first 2 seconds or the first 3 seconds of the video, you need to make sure that you manage to hook them in, something like that, right? You all heard before, right? Yeah. So hook can be many kind of hook. It can be a visual hook, like something looks really very nice and it just hook people in. Okay. Then it can be action hook. For example, you purposely fall down to make people continue to watch that kind of thing. Or it can be wordings hooks. Like you tell them that you're going to share something secret of somebody, that kind of hook. There are different kind of hooks. So after you hook for the first 2 to 3 seconds already, what do you do next? Do you still keep hooking? Do you still hook? No, right? Because if you hook too much, they know already. You want to hook them and then you keep hooking, then it's boring, right? So it has to give a certain value. So just now you know your target audience, you know your purpose, you know objective, you know their pain points already. Now you can give them value because you know all this. Yeah. So if your video have the hook to hook them in, of course it can be relatable to the value also lah. Depends on how you do it creatively. Then after that, hook, value, and goes to CTA. After they hear about what you say that they need, right? Then you can influence them to take action. For example, follow me for more tips, or like you have a discount promotion, or buy 1 for 1, click here, that kind of thing. Yeah. So never to command, but influence your audience. Okay? So content creation versus content marketing. What is the difference? What is the difference? Anyone? Okay, I'll go next. Okay, so the difference is most of the time, content creation are value driven. Okay, content marketing is a form of marketing, so it's transactional driven. The primary goals for content creation is normally to resonate the creator's truth or vision or even perspective. And for marketing, the primary goals is to curate and get the content seen, shared, engaged by a certain target audience that you have aimed for. And that has to lead to the main focus, which is strategic audience targeting and conversion optimization, which means that after you post this content, it cannot just be posting people see already, then that's it, right? It has to convert. Yeah, so for the content creation, the part value driven, right? Usually the quality is as of the creator's expectations and also individual storytelling and personal aesthetics. Yeah, it doesn't have much requirement because it's based on the creator expectations. Okay? So content creation is the act of producing media. This can include photos, videos, captions, blogs, and graphics. Captions means the description of your social media post. Okay, in marketing terms, we sometimes call it social media copy, C-O-P-Y. Okay. So, usually, content creation can be personal, it can be expressive, it can be exploratory, and it can be a form of art as well for that individual creator. Okay, so some of the examples can be like a lifestyle creator posting their everyday life routine. It could be a hobby baker shares recipe. Yeah, and it can be self-expressed sharing knowledge, or even building a community. There is no requirements for conversion. Content marketing, like I mentioned, is a form of marketing, so it must support brand positioning, credibility, authority, trust, and eventually convert to sales. Okay, so creators and businesses operate under very different objectives. So influencer is not a business. Influencers is individual, they are creators. Business is business, okay? So creators build audience attention more often than businesses, and businesses must build trust and credibility. And I do see a lot of businesses out there who doesn't build their brand positioning, which is not very effective. Yeah. So you can pursue both, okay, but your clarity have to come first. Your brand clarity, your brand essence, your brand positioning have to come first, okay? Know where your brand stands, check your competitors, know the market, know your customers' pain point, and what your objective is. Building the attention before you know all this will be a little bit more harmful to your brand than not. Okay, so if your identity is not clear, it can confuse your audience and reduce the conversion potential. Okay, so let me give you an example. I hear quite a bit of brands who went viral with some things they posted but not related to their brand. And then, do you think it convert to sales? Why? Because it's not related to their brand, right? It goes viral, a lot of people watch, but do people actually take action from that? Because there's no purpose, there's no objective, there's no target audience pain point, it's just targeting everyone who likes to see it. Then definitely it won't convert. Maybe it will grow a bit of followers, but it might not be the followers of your target audience. Okay? So in summary, content creation is the process of creating and producing the content, such as writing blogs, making videos, designing graphics, or recording podcasts. Okay? And content marketing is a strategy of distributing and promoting content to achieve business goals. Okay, now we are at activity 2. Yeah. Okay, first I would like to say thanks for asking, but there will be some of the details that you all are curious about is in my slide. So I will have a Q&A session later. So if I didn't go through it later, you can always ask me, okay? Yeah. Please write down notes and questions on paper or your laptop, and if you have any question, at the Q&A session later, we'll be answering everything, okay? So activity 2, okay? So now, the goal is to unlock your creativity thinking. Can I check who thinks that you are not creative at all? Okay, we have some. But do you know that creative, we can actually practice one? It's not born with it. Of course, there are some people who are born with it. But creativity thinking is something that you can practice. It's not that you are not born with it, then you don't have. Okay? So next, Okay, so I want everybody here, right? You are sitting in a row, right? So just form a group in your row and pick a random object. You can choose the object that you have chosen in your mind just now and imagine its story, okay? And craft one catchy line of phrase that will hook people in, okay? And then use this phrase to expand it into a 3-sentence description using your observation, perspective, culture story, or whatever you can describe within this object. Of course, everybody has choose your own object in your mind, but when you come into group, right, you can select or finalize that object in your mind, okay? So after doing the point 4, right, you can decide whether you want to make this a content creation or content marketing. So if content marketing, it means that it's transactional driven, right? So you have to think of, or how do you make this product into a product to ask people to do something about it, okay? Yeah, if it's a personal, it can be a form of art, it can be a form of expression. And after that, add this clear call to action. If it's personal, you can use more casual kind of wordings. If it's business, then it has to be more of like selling. Okay? So, yeah, can we form into a group? Yeah. So, maybe you join them. Yeah. You have papers and pens on your table, so just use it to do your group project. I will choose the third row, which is this row. Okay, let me know the object or subject that you have chosen and what is the hook. Yeah, you can stand up.
Right, the object that we have chosen is this very beautiful water bottle from our friend here. So the hook that we have is hydrate in style, carry your calm. Shall we go?
Who is your target audience and what pain point do you solve?
Be the general consumer. We want a stylish water bottle. So we are trying to the pain point, or rather the.
And we have silence and listen to Okay, let's go.
Okay, we're trying to sell style. Like a water bottle is a very common object, but this is a stylish water bottle, and it gives a feeling of calmness because of the way it is designed, the colors. So we're trying to address maybe the style, like having something common, a simple object as its style, and creating a sense of emotion.
Okay. So you mentioned that your target audience is everyone, is it? Everyone is no one if your target audience is everyone. Okay, so you mentioned that this is a very stylish water bottle, right? So it might be more effective if your target audience is around the Gen Z, because elderly usually doesn't care what kind of style their water bottle is. So if you're targeting everyone, means elderly is also part of your target audience, and it might lose the effect of what you're trying to transform in terms of after you sell this product. So you transform in terms of, like, let's say a Gen Z carry a product out, they are in a fashionable outfit. They're transforming their style, which is right. But auntie uncle who carries it, right? Yeah, might not feel the same way. So it didn't brand it didn't give the brand positioning a good spot lah. Yeah, okay. So next I will want maybe your group to share what is the object and also the 3 to 4 sentences.
Okay, hi, good afternoon. So we decided on the Dyson fan over here with its sleek design and color. So for that 3-sentence description, fan has a modern, minimalistic, bladeless outlook with its portability and easy maintenance, delivers efficient high velocity power to cool your entire room quickly and quietly. This sentence we took from AI lah, so that's the sentences, yeah.
Who are your target audience?
I think can be everybody. If it comes to a fan, I mean, I know maybe you mentioned about Gen Z, but me being a senior, I also like the color, so I think it's everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, alright.
But I still don't think it's everybody.
Okay.
Why do I say so? Let's not talk about age group. Age group is under demographics. Okay, let's talk about psychographics. which is the more of the interest kind of, psychology kind of aspects. So whoever who like this kind of fan usually like something that is sleek, modern, and maybe can fit into their home, right? So maybe if your target audience are homeowners that really have expectations for their home aesthetics, that will be more effective for your marketing. So if you make a content that is aimed everybody one, it might fail. Okay, so having to think about your target audience, your ideal target audience, not just in terms of demographics, but psychographics and pain points and needs are very, very essential and important. Okay? Okay, thanks everyone for having the discussion and the activity. Okay, next we are talking about social media content creation. So before anything, before we create any content, after we know our objective, after we know our purpose, after we know our product, services, all that, right? We still have to know what kind of format or topic we want to create. So just now we talked about the format, right? So what about the topic? So before anything you start to create, right, you have to ask yourself, what is your content purpose? Am I trying to make people buy my Dyson fan? Am I trying to make people buy that water bottle there? Or am I asking people to follow me? Or am I just trying to entertain people to get attention? What are you trying to do? Whenever you create content, you have to know, not just posting for the sake of posting, but knowing exactly what you want your audience to do next. Okay? So every piece of content, no matter is it 5 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds video on TikTok or 2,000 words blog, right? It has to serve a certain specific goals for your content marketing. Of course, that's for business and marketing wise, but if it's a personal content, then that's a different story. Okay, so start by listing target audience, content types, topics, objectives, and platforms, channels, which match your audience preference well. So just like I mentioned about, you have to create content that aims to your target audience, right? But that's not the only thing you can use for knowing your target audience. Another part is social media platform. Every single social media platform, you are reaching out to different zones of people. So when we talk about Facebook, usually my customers will ask me, Facebook only got the older people. Really? Is it true? Not exactly. Depends on what you post. Okay, TikTok only has the young people? No. There are also elderly there. I know like healthcare, they some of the time they do live stream, they get a lot of elderly people flooding in comments one. So it really depends what you post to gain the attention of these people. But again, there are some social media platforms that is specific to have more of the, for example, younger crowd and the older crowd. So for example, there's this social media, Lemonade. Has anyone heard of Lemonade? Yeah, have, right? Okay. So Lemonade and TikTok is by the same company, ByteDance. Okay. So Lemonade has more people who are much younger, not at the above 35 one, has lesser range of them. Yeah, which I'll go through in a bit. So next, I'm going to go through the 4E content, which is the popular content types examples. So it's quite straightforward because I'm using this framework. So the first E, right? Okay, we have 4 E's. So this is the first E's. First E is educational. Sorry, right, press wrong. Okay, yeah. So educational content, type is, for example, you are trying to guide people on something. So how to guide, step-by-step guides, like lists, tools, resources, and how to get to point A to point B. Have y'all seen like recently there's a lot of like AI tools guides? How like top 10 AI tools for graphic, top 10 this, top 10 that. That is under education. Okay. So once you know who you are helping, you know what kind of content, education type you can actually provide. Second, emotional content. Okay, emotion content is usually the part of using psychology. So for example, this person shared about her experience of something that you have experienced before. That's relatability, whereby you feel about the same as the person that relates and connect. Okay? And of course, vulnerability and authenticity, and inspiration and aspiration. Yeah. Then entertainment type is the most, familiar type that everybody knows. You know, some of the things you scroll, on your social media and you start to laugh. That one confirm entertainment. Yeah, okay? So usually entertainment are like skits, comedy, visual trends, challenges, or visual aesthetic. Dancing can be entertainment also. Yeah, okay? But if you're going to do like dancing video for your brand, make sure that it is related to your brand. If not, it's not doing any good for your branding. So if your product is the water bottle there, right, dance with the water bottle, okay? So type 4 is empowerment. Empowerment usually gives you more of affirmation, like telling you that you can do it, that kind of thing. You have all seen this kind of video, right? So myth busting is also under empowerment. Permission giving is also under empowerment. Inclusivity and advocacy is also under empowerment. And you can do this prep talk. Yeah, okay? Align content with clear business and personal branding. It's very important. Okay, the key difference between these two is that business content is usually more structured around what the audience need to know, okay, about the brand. And personal branding content is often more authentic and story-driven, reflecting who you are while still delivering value. It can be you sharing some stories that you have experienced and it's still delivering some kind of value. Frameworks for planning, producing, and distributing content effectively. Okay, does anyone find doing content creation very troublesome? Okay, good. This one is for you. Okay, key mindset is every piece of content should answer how does this move my brand or business closer to its goal. We don't create content for the sake of create in business or in marketing. We have to know how it's going to build our brand and what is the purpose it serves behind. Okay, so I have two parts. One part is to plan by marketing intent. A lot of marketers, they plan by using marketing intent. Okay, so building your content pillar by brand building content is often get to know the brand kind of content, promoting kind of content, empower and inspire, education and entertainment. So we took these three up from the 4E intent. This is only less one emotion. Yeah, so why getting to know the brand is important? Because if you just share content based on education, people don't really know what your business is doing, what your value is, then you're not building your brand. And people don't understand why they should engage more with you or buy from you. Okay? So these different content are helping to build different parts of your brand. For example, identity and trust, conversion and value, aspiration and mindset, value add and authority, relatable and shareability. So I do see like some social media accounts, business account, they have everything promotion. Is that good or bad? Why? Why is it bad?
There's no personal, I guess there's not enough engagement because you're just selling without providing value to the audience.
What is value to you?
It depends on what you need. Like you said, the empowerment, education, entertainment, they're all values on different levels.
Thanks. Okay, thanks for answering that. Okay, I have a question to ask before I answer that question. I ask you all, when you go social media, see video or content, right? Do you like to see ads? No, right? You all will skip, right? So ads, advertisements. So you all will skip, right? It's a natural human behavior that we skip ads. We don't like promotions. We don't like people selling to us on social media. So if you don't like people selling to you on social media, why are you doing the same? You get what I mean? Yeah. So promoting on social media, I won't say it's totally bad. You can sometimes do that, but make sure that you mix other content together. Ensure mix of content is very important. Okay, having to let people know what your brand is, what your brand stands, your brand positioning, why they should buy from you is important, and not just telling them to buy. Telling them to buy is a more instructive kind of CTA. What you need to do is to influence them to buy. Okay? So planning by subject matters is to plan a content pillar that is based on a certain objective and keywords. Okay, talking about keywords. Does everyone knows what is SEO? Everyone knows SEO, right? It's quite common these days. It has been a century. Yeah, so SEO is search engine optimized. It's usually used on web-based kind of content such as article writings and blog posts. But recent years, social media actually has their own SEO as well. Previously, Lemonade has a very good SEO optimized content ranking, which some of the posts you can actually search by Google. Yeah, but for now, YouTube is one of the best, and also secondly, Instagram is also quite good with social media SEO. But this year and forward, right, most of the marketers are working on AEO and GEO, which is generative engine optimization. Why is it? Yeah, nowadays, compared to last time, people search things from Google. Nowadays, people talk to AI. They ask questions on AI. So generative is generative chat engine optimization. And it applies also because people start to ask questions rather than type what they want. So AEO, answer engine optimization, is something new in marketing, which you would like to check it out maybe. And finding all these keywords, right, will help you to create a better content because you know what is the future customers' pain point that they are searching for. Yeah. Okay. So this is actually a real case study for yogurt brand in Singapore. They have 4 pillars. One is health and education, family and lifestyle, recipe and usage, brand stories and values. This particular yogurt brand doesn't have online presence when they found me, so we actually plan to let them have this more percentage of like brand stories and values. Yeah. Okay, so AEO intent examples are here. It's mostly about certain questions that people ask. Yeah. Especially online. Okay, so after we plan content pillar, what should we do? We should plan content calendar, right? Have anyone seen content calendar before? It's just like a calendar whereby you slot in the content that you are supposed to post on certain days. And how do we plan which day to post what? Okay, you just have to mix your content, don't clash into one another, and then check your social media peak hours. So there are certain timing that has more people on your account, which your followers might be more active. So just try to slot in the time slot for your content in your calendar with the peak hours. Yeah. Okay, and not forgetting to set your brand promotion dates as well. Yeah. Okay. So if you work in a marketing department or if you work under marketing agency, you might need to schedule not just the content calendar itself. Your Excel sheet might look like that. I mean, there are a lot of social media platforms right now, right? Last time maybe there's only like Facebook and Instagram. Now we have so much more. Okay, so popular platform in Singapore is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Lemonade, LinkedIn, RedNote, and X. Yeah. Okay. So talking about content calendar, we have to talk about CTA also, right? We have to talk about what we are writing inside our content also, not just creating the videos, not just creating the carousel posts, the graphics and things like that, right? We have to write what is it about. And this is not just writing or describing what is it about. It's also helping you in terms of the SEO, GEO, AEO keywords, which people might search and then stumble upon because they are searching and you have the information. Okay, so this is very important in social media content creation these days. It's not just about creating the content itself, but also using all these keywords to make sure that you are able to let people find you when they need it. So these are some examples. Okay, so after all that you have done, after you know your purpose of posting, your target audience, their pain points, and then you create the content, you write, okay, put inside your content calendar. Then next is refining the content. So every time a marketer do such procedure whereby they create these graphics to help the businesses and things like that, right? It always comes to a point we look at analytics. So analytics are the numbers, reach, engagement, impression that we see behind the social media interface to gauge whether this content works well or not. Okay, so if it works well, of course, continue doing that. Okay, if it doesn't, how do you refine it? That's the question. Okay, so refining messaging, improve your visual formats, better target audience segments are important to tweak and try and error. Sometimes before you reach that stage whereby you can reach out to people you need to reach and influence them. Yeah. Okay, selecting content formats and platforms. Okay, so these are the content formats that is usually used in digital marketing: images, videos, graphics, articles, webinar, podcast, live stream, and ebooks. And for the bottom part, right, is less common to be used under social media. Articles is not it's usually on web page. But again, there was once whereby social media, Instagram, right, itself has this guides tab. So the guides tab actually lets you do some blogging and article, but through different times, the interface might change and update. So you might not always get the same function. So most of the time it's still under image, videos and graphics. And all these are actually digital marketing, but they are not really related to social media. Okay?
Sorry, can I stop? What is the difference with graphics and image video? I thought, what's the meaning of graphics? What is graphics?
Okay, can you help me to write down your questions? Then at the Q&A session, we'll answer that together. Thank you. Okay, so please write down your questions if you have anything in mind. Okay. So I will go through a little bit of the more popular platforms in Singapore. So there's Instagram, there's Facebook, and these are some of the popular aspects that is more effective. I mean, if you're in this industry, it will be more effective to post your content there. And the demographics, the majority are here. So you can see for a while. So when we talk about posting on different platforms, these are different groups of people. So you need to plan your target audience and who you are helping well before you plan which social media platforms you are going to post. I also understand that some businesses, they post on every single platform. So is it worth or not? Because it takes up so much time, right? So this is when you actually start planning, okay, is it visible for this brand to post on which platform because of which kind of demographics of psychographics there is, yeah. So always tailor your content so you can bring the target audience over. So next, Lemonade and TikTok. So when TikTok first started, right, it has more younger crowds, especially like during the COVID period. It has more like those 7 years old to 12 years old kind. Yeah. So until after COVID, it gains a lot more adult users. Then we get a lot of other mixed kind of users. Yeah. Okay. So next, YouTube Shorts and Xiaohongshu, which is Red Note. Okay. So YouTube Shorts, right, is just a shorter version, which is a bite-sized version of YouTube videos. So YouTube, there are different kind of videos. One is the one that is horizontal, and one is the one that is phone format. Yeah. And next will be the long form content. So whatever that is in the first 3 pages, right, is short form content, which is bite size. Okay, long form content is slightly longer, such as YouTube video itself can be a long form. It can run up to like 30 minutes, 1 hour, that kind of video length. But in social media, it's usually around 1 minute average. Yeah. Then for this WordPress blog, right, is article posting. Means you write a long form article, it can be like about 2,000 words, 3,000 words, depends. Yeah, and it can be SEO focused. So if you want to base on ranking your keywords like Google page 1 search and things like that, you can use article posting as the content. Okay, now we are going to visual composition fundamentals. Okay, does anyone here knows about photography? Or takes really nice picture? Anyone? Okay, don't have. Okay, so I'll be going through some composition rules. Okay, so when we talk about social media, right, like I mentioned, we have the action hook, we have the visual hook, we have the wordings hook. So when it comes to visual hook, right, we have to learn how to take nicer picture and video, right? So this is the part. So now we are learning basic composition. Have anyone heard of rule of thirds? Okay, so basically, okay, last time the camera framing looks like this because we used to use DSLR, which is always taken in horizontal, not vertical. But now because of phone cameras, often pictures comes in vertical. So, but the rule is about the same. You can use 9 framing. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can use 9 framings to break apart your image to know whether your positioning is at the quarter part of the frame. So when we talk about rule of third, right, it cuts into 1, 2, 3, and you frame your subject at the right side of the frame, makes the photo looks better. Okay, it's a framework for making more appealing pictures, such as color theories as well. There are certain colors that you mix together looks better together. So I give you a few examples. Okay, okay, think of natural colors. For example, watermelon, red and green always look good together. They can never look ugly one. Red and green, yeah. Okay, blue and yellow, the sea and the beach never looks ugly one. Always appealing to the eyes. Yeah, even purple to yellow also. Yeah, purple gold is always the mixture of colors that looks very good. Yeah, so there are some theory behind it and there are some frameworks behind it. Yeah, something to learn about to make your pictures or video in the future better. Yeah, okay. So the main subject of the image, which is this mid, has to be in the intersect of the lines that goes along the quarter. Okay, it has been used for centuries. Not I say one. Yeah, okay. So next, second rule. Second rule is leading lines. So some of the times we are at landscape or scenery scenes, right? We always see lines, one, but the lines are not obvious lines. They might be just lines that are, like ocean shores and things like that. Even in this room, there are many lines if you spot it. Yeah, but it is not obvious. It's just our eye doesn't detect so obviously, but it's around us. It's just that you have to focus in your observation before you can imagine it. So this is unlocking your creative thinking also, okay? So there are some pictures that you can use multiple leading lines, but for this, it's just one leading line. And how do you use it? You have to lead people into your subject. This is the subject, okay? So lines around us, after you end this lesson, you just look around, and then you will find a lot of lines that you can take good picture with, okay? Yeah. Next, symmetry. I think this is the easiest out of all because we like patterns, right? And usually when we see patterns, we can take the symmetry of the same from left to the right. But asymmetry is slightly a little bit different because the design at the other side is slightly different. But it's just slightly, it's like breaking pattern from your symmetry. Yeah. So symmetry is often used in architectural photos. Like outside you can see like, the windows left and the right is about the same. Yeah, so it's very easy for this composition style. Okay, activity 3. Are you ready for activity 3? Okay, yeah. Okay. So I have 2 prop station in this classroom. If you realize, one is at the back there, and one is there. Don't go to the station to take the pictures. Take some props to your table. I want you all to form in the same group that you all formed just now, okay? And then if you need products, the products are behind there. Here only got props, there got products, okay? You can take out the flower from the bottle if you want to lay out in style. Use the rule of the third composition, use the symmetry composition, use the leading line composition if it's possible for you, okay? So this is activity. We can take about 20 to 30 minutes for this. And if you think it's a bit too dark, I have this. What is this? I didn't bring light for you all because I think it's bright enough here. But if you want, you can use your iPhone lighting also. You all can help one another. This is reflector. Okay, this is reflector. If you want, you can borrow this also. I put it here. Okay? So you can use the cloth, you can use the props, and then return it after you have done and let other people use also. So now it's a photography activity, okay? So, so we'll have, we will have 25 minutes to 30 minutes lah, And I have more clues for you all. Wait, my clues is when you all take photos, don't just take at eye level, okay? Be a bit more observant, look at different perspectives. You can use eye level, low angle, high angle, close up macro also can if your camera has the macro function especially. Then play with colors, contrast, be it the bright and the vibrant, muted or the pastel, or high contrast and shadow. If you want shadow means there is light, right? So you have to use an iPhone like this. Yeah, it can be done. If you want diffuser, for example, your iPhone light is too bright, right? You can use tissue to cover as diffuser. I do that, okay? I do that when I go for, food tasting and I, eat at restaurant. I use my tissue paper to wrap around my iPhone light to make sure that it's not too bright with harsh shadows. It can be done, okay? So if you all need more tips along the way, I might go to your group to comment, but you can take your props first. Okay, let's start now. Okay, so everyone took your photos and videos, right? Okay, so now we go on to strategies and systems. So after you take your content, you need to know how to schedule and you need to know how to go forward, right? So this is the usual content marketing journey. Usually every content creation, let's say for business, right? We have to do the research, understanding, accidentally click, okay. So understanding your competitors, understanding your target audience, understanding your brand positioning, R&D, creative and ideation comes at the first stage, of course, and then optimizing accounts. So not just creating the account, but you have to optimize the account such as like adding your bios and make sure that people can recognize you as your brand on your social media, like an official account, okay, for your business. Then there will be ideas, discussion and finalization if you have a team. And filming on site, then goes to content editing. Of course, this is for videos. For graphics, it will be asking the graphic designers to do out the content, which is like, having a creative brief and things like that. Then editing content. Next is the content approval before scheduling. So if you have a boss, if you have a director, manager, you have to let them see before you schedule the post. Usually it's either here or after the discussion, for approval. And next, you go to content scheduling and distribution. Once you know which social media platforms you are going to schedule, then this part will not be very difficult. So there are different strategies and systems that might help you in content creation, make your producing of content more consistent and efficient. So there are also like templates and frameworks online, such as Canva. If you have used Canva before, you might understand that there are certain templates or stocks you can actually use to help you to reduce your creation aspect. And to be able to upload and run your social media consistently, I would recommend batch production. Means if you set your content pillar, you have 4 different content, maybe 1 month you want to post 8 different content, right? So 2 times 4, you add into your batch production. Means you film everything together, do everything together. I mean, not in one day lah, but more like you ask your team to get together to film on like a single day, on a single trip, and then batch your production accordingly. Like this week I'm going to do like content 1 to content 10, for example. Okay, so having content briefs is important, especially if you have a team. So create mini briefs and with the objective, tones, visuals, and the CTA for each piece. Okay, tool stacking can be helpful as well. So content creators, they might use CapCut a lot to edit videos. But we do use like Canva for graphics design and sometimes Adobe for other purposes as well. So there's different tools like ChatGPT or Grammarly that is good for amending grammars and wordings. Notion is more for organizing your content, calendar and things like that. Some of the younger crowds like to use Notion. But I myself, I don't use Notion, so I cannot advise. So review and optimization system is the analytics portion, which most of the time you can check on the social media interface. So this particular one is actually Google Analytics for blog posts and website. So you can see which content actually spiked up and then which one you want to continue and things like that. So tracking is very important. Analytics tracking, content audit, which is you can check like monthly or quarterly after you have the content posted up. Okay, feedback loop can be collected with from your audience or people who you might know. Okay. There's also A/B testing. A/B testing usually is on like Facebook back-end interface for ads, but you can do it manually for your own as well, like changing the headlines, changing the visual, changing the style or CTA, but the branding positioning still have to stay. Okay. So how to select the right content formats and channel for distribution? We went through just now, right? So how? Anyone? I know the snacks is very delicious, but can answer me a bit? Okay, no need lah. Okay, I will just go on. So decision tips is less is more. Focus on format that deliver the highest impact for that specific goals. Consider what is there, like resources and skills. What kind of skills do you have? What kind of resources do you have? Can your operation team do this or that? Okay, before you settle with what kind of content you can create. Because if you are doing video, you definitely need the filming skill, you definitely need the editing skill. Of course, if you can't, you can hire somebody to do it, outsource or whatever, or you can learn yourself also. But learning yourself takes time. And of course, if you hire somebody else to do it, you have to consider the cost involved. So resources and skills. Then carousel graphics is, of course, you have to have a graphic designer. And blogs, you might need to build on your writing skills. Writing short form copies and long form writings are very, very different. Of course, you can use AI, right? You can use, right, AI. Last time people write blog posts one whole day, one post. Now AI, how many seconds? 30 seconds maybe. But I will not advise, because whatever I share on AI, right, I only believe 80-20 ratio. Why do I mean by that? Because not everything on AI is accurate, that's one thing. Second thing is because if everybody asks AI to write, then everybody have the same blog post, is it? That should not be the case, right? It has to be very customized to whatever that you want to give in terms of value. It should not be the same as others, then it can rank, okay? Keep what works, stop or improve what doesn't. Consider channel's strengths. So different social media have different strengths and what kind of format is better. For example, for Instagram, most of the image doesn't work that well. So Reels is a better format for engagement, yeah. And LinkedIn usually works when you write articles or long form posts, more like professional updates. Don't put entertainment there if possible, yeah. And then it's best for B2B, building credibility and thought leadership. For YouTube, long form videos, tutorials, and vlogs usually works better. And for blog and website, it's good to build AEO, GEO, SEO driven long form content as well. Actually for TikTok, right, do you think image or video works better? Why? Why? I can tell you some image works better. It depends on the context you are posting. I have graphic posts that went viral like 95k views. Do you not think image can go viral? No, I think it can be. It's just what you are posting. Is that something valuable that somebody is searching for? That's the question to the content you are creating. Yeah. Okay, quick tips for beginner. Start small, pick one platform first, okay? Until you understand this particular platform, go to the other, okay? And pick one content pillar first. Practice your content creation skill and your hook and your sentences and your description inside. Make sure that people can understand what you are trying to say or what you are trying to relate in terms of your communication in that content itself, okay? One content type, yeah, this is the list to start, okay? So focus on consistency over quantity. Once you see what resonates, then you can expand gradually, okay? So focus on strategy, not tools. Social media are your tools. Strategy is all that I have teach, like in the front part, especially the target audience, branding position, etc. Okay. So just for your information, this is my website. I have this page called Growth Hacks, and it does have some ebooks. Some are for sales, some are free that you can actually download by subscribing the email. Yeah, so you can take a picture if you want. And these are on self-study. You can just take your time to learn. Yeah. So there are different kinds of aspects like content calendar, Google Trends, and ebook for like AI and stuff like that. You can just take a picture.
Do you know what is content pillar? Sorry, the content pillar.
Can I go to the next slide that you asked? Because later we have Q&A. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, all good, right? Now we have the Q&A. You can ask already.
That's why you got one slide. You got four the things there. What is the content pillar you are referring to?
Can you speak louder? Sorry.
Content pillar.
Content pillars, Content pillars is how you plan the subject of each individual intent for your content. So for example, the yogurt brand just now I share, right? We have the health and lifestyle, we have the about the brand. Those are different intents. Yeah, and it can be keywords also, depends on what you are looking for your brand. Yeah. Did I answer your question? Okay.
Hello. I want to ask you something. As you are food content creator, we must build the trusting with audience, right? We must build trusting with audience.
Build trust.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And then the problem is how should you to handle if you have a situation when brand endorse you, but the taste is not good. Okay, but and then the payment is so high. So what?
I take the mic. Are you guys curious? So what if you go to a media tasting and then it tastes like meh? Okay, what do you think a food blogger would do? Okay, I tell you. Okay, I don't know about other food bloggers, but usually if the food doesn't taste nice, I will say it doesn't taste nice. But of course, every single restaurant or their food menu, right, has something that it tastes nice, right? So the one that it doesn't taste nice, right, I'll just say, like I don't think it's nice. I mean, not say nice, there should be a particular word, like for example, this pasta is too salty and I don't think it suits my taste. I mean, some of the time giving opinion is not wrong, right? It's just being able to say what you feel. But again, to me, right, I don't look at just the taste when I go to restaurants. So sometimes I might look around the surrounding. Okay, this restaurant has this very nice and aesthetic vibes, but maybe the food is not very nice in this particular dish. But I might taste other that might taste okay. Then I might write that way. Yeah. So if everything tastes like not nice, then I might just say, don't come here for food. Come here for pictures, right? Yeah. I mean that's true, right? So that's what I do. I don't know about others. Yeah. Any else? Anything? Yeah.
So normally it's a real person talking in the video, but right now a lot of the AI person. So what do you think on this plan? Is it going to be like the next thing?
Okay, very good question. I like this. Okay, normally if we see AI talking, right, most people will just go away, right? Yeah, that's what my friend says. But again, there are a lot of people create because some of the brands doesn't have a face to show. So there will definitely be more people creating because it's easy, okay? But again, if you want to hook in attention, you still have to use humans. Yeah, even though you are not somebody who can speak very well, it's okay because we don't need perfection. You are not doing like news forecasts, You are doing social media, and social media is meant to be imperfect. And like if you can entertain a bit, why not? But again, if you don't, speaking genuine, I think is what people want to hear rather than a lie, for example, right? Yeah.
This one you had a sorry.
So you have images, videos, and graphics. So what is graphics?
I remember this question. Okay. So images, usually when we say images, the term, right, it means photos taken in real life. Okay. So if you say graphics, it's usually created by illustration, like for example drawings, or some drawing triangle or rectangle in Canva, Photoshop, that kind, not real image. But of course there are mix lah. Some people mix like the real and the graphics, then it's called graphics. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
For new businesses, if the business wants to sell, but because it's a very new business, so would you recommend to start with content creation first before moving to content marketing?
Okay, if you want to grab attention, it's content creation, grabbing more attention usually, because they can be not in, okay, how to say, like businesses usually they have certain rules. Some things cannot post, some things can post, that kind. And it very relates to branding also. So if your company is not very particular about branding, you can start with content creation. But don't do it for too long because branding has to be built before people can remember you. So if you are just doing social media for the sake of doing, right, then long run people don't know who you are, they just know that you post content, that's all. If you want to build an impression for other people to know what you're doing and have the good experience you as online with you and have the connection, you have to build the branding clarity first before doing your content creation. Because also, if you don't know who you are creating for, or you don't know what your brand is niche and unique for, then you will be posting for the wrong people to see. Yeah. Okay, wrong target audience lah. Yeah. Okay. Any more question?
Let's
Oh,
say
sorry. I give her first.
When you so-called do a food review, do you inform the owner, or you only do it when you're kind of being invited? But everybody have to start somehow, right?
Honestly, when I started my food blog 11 years ago, I started to just walk into a chicken rice store and then I start blogging about the chicken rice store. That's my first blog. But again, answering to your question, usually when I walk into a restaurant or whatever, I don't tell them I'm a food blogger one. 我不是来骗吃. Sorry, I mean I'm not here to, yeah. I'm not blogging for the sake of the food or the value or the money. I'm here because I want to try and eat and experience, and if it's nice, I will blog. Sometimes I walk in the restaurant and I come out not nice, I won't blog one. Yeah, but if I walk into the restaurant and I think that this one can recommend to my followers, why not? That kind of thing. I don't usually tell them I'm a food blogger until I tag them, then they know lah. Yeah. So, did I answer your question?
how about monetization?
Oh, monetization. Honestly, I am very choosy. Not everybody invite me, I will go. So, not because being recognized lah. That's another thing. It's more like because I'm quite selective in the food I eat. So usually when they engage me, right, I'll let them know, okay, I do charge a fee for my effort and skills lah. But then again, I will be telling people my honesty or opinion. I won't say very nice, very nice. If you want the very, very nice type, you go and engage other people. Don't find me. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And to me, it's very important to be authentic and very important to be genuine, telling people what I actually feel rather than what other people want me to feel. Yeah. So that's me, but I'm not sure about other food bloggers or influencers.
So the question is about the percentage between images or videos or this is there a percent, a ratio on it?
Okay, so is there a ratio to the different needs of content? I will usually suggest if it's content format, graphics or image or videos, right? Usually I'll use the 80-20 rule because videos has more engagement usually for Instagram especially. So 80% video, 20% graphics or image. Yeah, but of course different platform is different. TikTok is different, then you can do 50-50. It all depends on the context of the content usually. So if you say, if you want to plan by the intent of the content, right, there's no fixed percentage usually, but you can plan by the main objective of what you're trying to share or communicate across the key messages for your target audience. Yeah.
Following up just now the answer, is it for the new content, new account, is it best to have video first before the picture come in? Those about it.
For new brands, if your account is totally nothing, I will suggest you do a bit of graphics first because, not to bring in viewers, it's more to make people recognize there's a certain visual in terms of your branding. And then you start to create videos that shows about your brand, talk about your brand. And then it starts other kind of value adding such as educational posts and things like that. Yeah. Okay, did I miss anyone?
Building on to the questions about images versus videos, from your perspective or experience, do you see any evolving trends towards static images versus videos due to content fatigue because there's just too much videos on platforms?
Very interesting question. Okay, so being in social media industry for quite a long time, there are actually different kind of patterns in terms of the viewership and the algorithm. So some of which patterns that we actually see as a marketer is that certain platforms, they'll improve their interface because there are too much people posting the same thing. For example, so Instagram previously have different kind of functions that try to counter that. For example, IG Trails. Have you heard of it? Trails? It's a reel, but it's a trails. So what they do is that they help you reach a different audience zone, but you will not see it on your feed when you post it. So it only shows a certain group of people that is out of your normal audience. But after the trial ends, you will see it on your feed. So it depends on the platform itself. Yeah. And for content in terms of the videos and the photos, too much people post a certain format doesn't really affect much. It's more about the context of the video. But again, in this case, right, for TikTok itself, right, even you have repeated content or context, right, they don't stop you. Other social media, they are more mindful about all this. But TikTok, you can always copy somebody else's post and then post the same. They don't mind because it's a trend creation. Yeah. Okay. What else?
So I have two questions. The first question is on content pillar. So how will you make a content that's interesting, that's educational and very heavy informational or scientific, that's maybe quite boring lah. So for example, just now you mentioned about the yogurt brand, right? So there's this part on probiotics explained. So maybe you can share with us like how do you help them to bring this concept across to make it interesting. Then the second question I have is on review and optimization. So in terms of A/B testing and performance, like for example, you may change the person featured in the content, the timing, date of distribution, all this affects the performance of the content creative, right? So how will you actually determine which is the best performing?
Okay, that's a long one. Okay, I'll answer the first one first. Yeah, I forgot your question. Okay, why not you say the first one first, then I answer the first one, then you ask me a second.
So my question was like, how will you make a content that is more educational and scientific that's more boring? Like for example, the probiotics that from the yogurt brand earlier to make it more interesting.
Thanks for the shortcut. This is something that is not able to think overnight one. Okay, so basically you have to do your research first. Okay, research on what your audience wants to see, plus the keywords lah, plus their pain points, plus their needs, plus the psychological part of things, and plus the current trend for the hooks. Also the way you copyright. So the way you copyright will actually hook them in for for this kind of educational posts. Especially if you tell them that in the middle or at the back or something that they can get. Yeah. Then how to mix entertainment into education is actually you need intensive thinking to manage to do that. Some people they pick on trend to share educational, but they don't share it so straightforward. They hook them in by entertainment first, and then they, yeah. Of course, these days you don't just depend on that. There are so many, different people doing different things. It will be good if you can share it in a storytelling method. Yeah. And if you have noticed, like these days there's a trend about like this social owner from social company, why they created this product is because of this. Sharing passion and sharing genuine, like storytelling actually works so much better than just creating a story that is like not the facts lah. Yeah. So this is one method lah. Yeah. She has one more question. Sorry. Just hang on.
Okay, so my second question is for the review and optimization. So you mentioned about A/B testing of certain performance, like for example, changing the person featured in the content, timing, date of distribution, all affects the performance of a creative or content, right? So how will you determine the effectiveness given all these factors happening in one space?
Have you heard of click-through rate? Yeah. So usually A/B test is not so much done manually. It's usually done via the Facebook backend, which is normally ads. And performance marketers are more professional in this area lah. If you ask a common content creator, they actually might not know. But because I'm quite in marketing line, so I can maybe explain a little bit lah. So usually how we judge whether the ads is working or not. The first 1 to 7 days, you can actually see from the back end about the impression and the reach. How much is it generate compared to the A and the B? And usually if the click-through rate is higher, that means it's more effective lah. However, we cannot confirm whether this click-through rate, if they click already, you will convert to sales or not. Leads is one thing, sales is one thing. So even if they click, they are your leads. They might fill a form, they might be interested, they might message. But whether or not you convert to sales is a different thing. And that portion is a whole different skills to upsell them in after they become the leads. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Maybe for example, if I launch a content on social media, then I contact the other person, then how do I determine if let's say I post another content that is similar content like this video, but feature a different person, like how can I know that it's because of this person actually that making this video is more effective, or is it because of timing or
It's by experience. Sorry, I can't answer much. It's by experience. You really need to know how to judge. Okay. Next.
She was asking like how it's very difficult to break down signs and supplements, whatever complicated topics. So I was just trying to tell her that there's this girl called Bio Girl MJ. She's cited in Straits Times, and then she's very colorful, but her topic is more about the environment. But I think it can show her an example of a science-based social media content. And she makes herself very friendly because she wears yellow, and then she wears these huge glasses, like a nerd or something like that. So it's quite fun. Bio Girl MJ.
Oh, okay. Hang on, let me explain this part first. So this lady here mentioned about there's this influencer who shares about science and environment, which I think we are quite familiar with. She always wear a yellow dress and have a big glasses, black glasses, and always shares very educational stuff. But she's not considered like a lifestyle influencer sort of thing, but more educator. She is actually building a personal branding. So this is a part whereby content creation, but she does earn money from it because some of the campaigns need her to explain certain parts of science. Yeah, so she's building a content creation journey and personal brand, but she managed to earn from it also. So it might not be because it's a business, it's a content marketing, then you get to earn. Sometimes it's actually a mix and hybrid. Okay, so the next question.
Because just now you answer the question is that the founder explain why the passions of this thing, right? So this video should be beginning or somewhere in between when to show up.
Some owners show up every time. So they are actually building personal branding in their business branding. That's possible also. So it might not be you have to start from the start, then you show yourself and then you disappear. It can be all the way consistent. Yeah. So it really depends on what you want. You want to build a personal brand in a business brand, or you just want to build a business brand. Yeah.
It's just to touch base on monetization, right? I know each platform, if you go deep into it, they'll be able to tell you, what must you do to be able to monetize IG, YouTube, just carrying on to what someone was asking just now. So it's obviously a lot of people started off by doing more for altruistic reason, like what you were saying just now. You just wanted to share with people where are the good food and things like that. But along the way, money comes into mind. So how should I say? So every platform. I mean, we know YouTube makes a lot of money. Everybody wants to go into YouTube. And then for TikTok, there is this called paid partnership as well. Yeah. So maybe just to answer some, I don't know, maybe they have some questions about this topic, how to monetize later on, along the journey.
Okay, thanks for asking. I believe a lot of people want to earn money from content creation, right? So a lot of times, what you all heard is different social media, if you all have like up to certain subscriber, you all can earn extra money, such as YouTube. But YouTube part is really not easy because you have to build long form content, and one long form content can be like 30 minutes and you have to edit like maybe one day for a 30 minutes video. Yeah, so that's one part. And of course there are some affiliates marketing whereby you can earn money from also such as TikTok. TikTok, they actually have live stream and affiliations that you can actually leverage on to earn more money. But you have to sell certain products because they are sort of like a hybrid e-commerce and also an entertainment platform. Then there are other ways, like such as you have affiliates for some other companies, means you earn commission, affiliates, okay, means you earn commission. And you can use your social media platform not based on the main platform itself, but using the affiliate links to add inside your social media content to ask people to buy certain things. Yeah, that is to influence. So a lot of influencers do that. When they start to post product and content, they will add the link for people to buy. But again, social media platforms are not meant for that initially. So the interface itself, most of the time, doesn't have a link function. That means that somebody see this post, they have to go to maybe the bio to click link to bio, then can click onto the link. So it's double action. That means that the sales conversion might drop because of the additional action. So it depends on what you want ultimately. Some influencers or content creator, right, they earn through being engaged by other brands to post on their social media. So whatever that you are planning to earn in terms of monetary, it depends on what suits you. Yeah. Okay? Anyone else?
Hi, so I understand that the content part is very, you need to do testing and iterate along the process, right? So there's no like fixed answer to that. I was just wondering, like, in terms of like the process, like how do you actually usually go about like coming up with ideas or even like a content pillar? Like, are there any tools that you use or brainstorming, or like how do you do your research and basically the framework on the process?
Can I ask, are you asking personal or business?
I think a little bit of both. I mean, because I was just thinking about the process on how do you come up with ideas, and because I also did some personal content and also, or like, but sometimes I feel like, I don't know if it's the algorithm or like what, but it's not really getting a lot of engagement. Yeah, so I'm just wondering, like, is it a content problem or is it because of the algorithm, so I need to spend in order to get views?
Before I answer your question, I want to answer the part how you can check whether your content is engaging or not based on platform algorithms. So you see, I have so many social media accounts, right? Not all go viral, even one go viral. For example, one of the content that I created, let's say this is content A, I post in 1, 2, 3 social media doesn't go viral, 4, 5, 6 maybe go viral. So it depends on the algorithm. So it's not about just the content itself. Of course, the timing helps also. Okay, so that's one thing. So if you want to check whether your content is doing well or not, post on every single platform. Then you'll see the algorithm. What is the average? Yeah, okay? So that one will be troublesome, but you can try. Okay, so answering the main question, which is how do I find inspiration for my content creation, right? If you say personal one, I don't find. I walk into a restaurant and then I eat and then I post. So that's my style. But sometimes like, maybe certain products I use also I will post. I don't just post purely food. Sometimes I travel, I also post. So that is the personal part. I don't really think of what I want to post. It's just come natural to me. So for the business part, usually we will do some research. So for example, competitor research, like your brand positioning research and things like that, and keywords research. So for example, if you sell, like cakes, customized cakes, you go online, search yourself like customized cakes, Singapore, or what location, that kind of thing, search. And then once you search, right, you will see these people also ask, on the Google, if you have laptop, you can search, like search your product, Singapore, then you see, scroll down, and you see these people also ask. That is some of the main questions that people are looking for when they are searching such keywords. But that is only the basic. When we do research in a marketing agency, we do deeper research. So it's not just based on these main questions. We go deep inside. We have different branched out keywords using all this information and data online. So when we search about these keywords, of course now you can leverage AI also, but don't believe AI everything, 80-20 rules, okay? So we will go deep inside of what people are actually finding or searching or pinpoint of these certain products they are finding. For example, people go facial. Why they go facial? Because they want to, have the toxic in the skin being extracted out. For example, they cannot do it at home. You can do hydration at home, but you cannot extract yourself. So people go facial because they want extraction. Then your facial target is extraction. So this is how we set up like different kind of content pillars, different kind of content keywords, and what you should post next. Yeah?
Do you recommend any tools for doing research? For example, for instance, you said keywords. Are there any tools that's commonly used in the industry? Something like that?
The most common and the most user-friendly is Google Trends. Yeah, you can compare also, like compare 2 to 3 to 4 keywords. Yeah, you can compare. Then if you are running like websites and things like that, you can use Href or SEMrush. Yeah. In fact, if you are somebody who is a bit more curious, you can go Reddit and Quora to see what they're asking. What are people asking? Yeah. So this will help you to generate some of the content ideas. Yeah. Did I answer your question? Yeah. Anyone else? Come on,